One of the biggest financial mistakes that I see high earners and high performing entrepreneurs make is optimizing for net worth instead of cash flow at the wrong time, or trying to optimize for cash flow too early. I know people who are worth 10, 15, $20 million on paper, but they can't take a month off because they don't have cash flow. But a strategic achiever who's earning $300,000 in cash flow, but has a modest net worth, could have more freedom if they understand one key idea. So if you feel like you're successful, but you're still trapped in your own achievements, I think this episode is going to help you fix the mistakes that keeps people stuck in stress instead of actually achieving the freedom they set out to achieve. This is On the Exit. All right, so Aaron, we've been having this conversation about starting by defining what is income, what is cash flow, and what is net worth. And I would put net worth for business owners, net worth and business like asset valuation, they kind of go in tandem, right? Because if you're a business owner, a large percentage of your net worth is probably tied up in the value of the business that you own.
Your assets, yeah.
As well as other assets that you own. But it's important, I think, to start, and it may seem rudimentary, elementary, what have you, to define those and make sure we all understand the distinction. But if we don't start with the right definition, then we end up ultimately optimizing for the wrong thing at the wrong time in our entrepreneurial and investing journey. And so just so we're all on the same page, income, as we define it, is money that you go out, work,
Actively earn,
right? I know there's passive income, that kind of thing, but for the sake of this conversation, we're defining income as you did something, traded time, energy, resource to get it. Cash flow is money that you get as a result of something that you either built or invested in. So your business, you built it. You got it to a point where it throws off cash flow into your bank account. Impacts, affects positively your family's material well-being. Net worth is everything that you own, the value of everything that you own, minus all your debt that you have on it. That's your net worth.
Yeah,
so,
just looking at it simply, right?
Yeah.
I'm even thinking about, even from a very simple, because we're talking about entrepreneurs, businesses, assets, but even for a normal W-2 employee, like 80% of, you have your house and you have your retirement account.
Yeah.
And you could have a lot of equity in those things, but it doesn't mean anything. You still have to go to work every day. And that's why it's, just pay off your house. And it's still negative cash flow. You still have to have insurance. You still have your property taxes. You still have to do maintenance on that house and everything. And like it doesn't change your monthly situation. Even paying it off. It does a little bit because you have a little bit of the earned income that you don't have to spend, but it doesn't make it so that you're really changing your day-to-day that much. Same as your retirement accounts. If you can't access it to 59.5 or whatever it is, you could have a couple $1 million in there, but it doesn't do anything for your day-to-day. But it could be really good. You could have millions of dollars, but it's so future. And to me, that's different from the cash flow that you're talking about.
And I think what differentiates the average, ordinary, everyday American from folks who are a part of the On the Exit community and are a part of this podcast and show up and engage with us here every week is we don't want to just work 40 years and retire and just live a mediocre life collecting seashells on the beach in Florida. Like that's not the ambition we have. We want to condense time frames to financial freedom. And financial freedom, it's such a buzzword. It almost annoys me to say it at this point because it's like, what is financial freedom? It's like having more money than you need. Is that financial freedom? But the truth is...
Does it mean you never work again?
It's like, financial freedom means I get to just sit on the beach and drink Mai Tais and collect seashells and whatever. It's no, like, we have so much more purpose and stuff that like value that we have to give to the world. Why are we rushing to the finish line? We just want to have the options to channel our best energy and time into its best uses and purposes. And that's what financial freedom allows us to do. Give more to our families, give more to causes that we believe in, give more, and not just money, but like more of ourself, more of our creativity, more of our energy to things that really matter to us. And ideally, you'd be building a business that actually the end result is a positive outcome and things that you're personally passionate about. I know that's you and I both are wired that way. I want to see both investors and our fund manager clients and our coaching clients, all of them, like one of my deepest passions is seeing those people become successful and achieve the things that they set out to achieve. And when I can make money doing that, it's amazing. Like it's like, why would I ever want to quit that job? You know what I mean? But I think the big mistake that happens along the journey is, I see this all the time with our real estate investment firm, is I'll talk to an investor and they'll be looking at investing in one of our development projects, which those development projects, they take 2 years to build, another year to stabilize and get leased up and all that. So there isn't any cash flow for 3 years or more. And that becomes a reason why they don't invest. And it frustrates the heck out of me because I'm like, you're not getting out of your own way. You're way too short-sighted. You've got $1.2 million net worth right now, and you are wanting to invest with like cash flow being the deciding factor for you.
And it feels a little bit too early.
Let's say the cash flow is like a strong cash flow position is 10%. And you've got 1.2 million in capital to deploy, you're making $102,000 a year cash flow, and that money's not growing. Is that really?
Does that away at it? Yeah. What's $100,000? What's it going to be in 5 years, 10 years from now?
Does it really move the needle for you in what you're really trying to accomplish? And the truth is, most people they're not going to invest the whole 1.2, and they probably shouldn't invest the whole 1.2 million into one investment that's yielding 10% cash flow. They're going to diversify it. Some of them are going to overperform. Some of them are going to underperform. So it's probably going to be more like 5 or 6% on average cash flow. And really that like prioritizing cash flow too early, if you're an investor, it's like shooting yourself in the foot in the long term, because it's the inability to delay gratification. It's saying, I just want to see some money come back right now, instead of realizing like, hey, you could invest and get a multiple on that through appreciation and value creation that helps grow your basis of capital to a point where 6 to 7 to 10% cash flow actually becomes very meaningful to you 5, 10, 15 years down the road from now. And that's if you're doing it passive. But on the business side, we see business owners all the time make the same type of mistake. They focus on revenue creation, not profit creation. So it's reinvest at all costs, and don't think about, just believe that out of thin air, you're going to make enough money next month to be able to pay all your employees and pay your bills and all that kind of stuff. Rather than looking at it from, hey, if we increase revenue, maybe that increases the overall business's valuation, but it doesn't actually make my current situation better.
Yeah. So I think couple thoughts. I think there are a lot of, I don't know where this idea comes from of retiring early. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of the root of it is, where people are they want to shortcut that. Like they don't want to work or something.
Yeah.
So they're like trying to get the cash flow to replace, but then it's like all the people of the world that are the highest billionaires of the world, they're not focused on cash flow. They're focused on building their net worth, and they're working. And some of them are 80, 90 years old, working every day, continuing to. So that's their mindset, right?
Yeah.
Their mindset isn't like, how can I quickly retire?
Yeah.
As fast as possible with the minimum, because it's like they're always growing and adding value. And I think I was actually talking with somebody about this last week. I'm like, there's 2 reasons that you can work. One is to make money, and one is to add value.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people work for money, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Because you have to start somewhere. Everybody, when your first job, my first job was a pizza Hut. Obviously I wasn't doing it to add value, right? It's like you got to you start and
make some money, man. Got to get slinging some pizzas, man. Got to make some money.
Best dishwasher they ever had.
Yeah.
But then eventually you get to the point where you're working more for purpose, for value, for building, for stewarding what you have and all that stuff. So that's where it's like the net worth piece comes in, because it's not, hey, what's another 10 million to my net worth? It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about just continuing to do what you love, right? And continue to build on it and to grow it. So I think that's part of it, where people try to stop, they try to shortcut that, right?
Yeah. And the income, cash flow, and net worth that you generate throughout your life is in direct correlation to the actual real value that you bring into the world.
Yeah, as it should be.
As it should be. And it really is. So if you
don't add value, then why would you receive any, like, why would you get paid?
This is just a side note for kind of the one or two entitled entrepreneurs that tune in to Own the Exit, hoping that somebody will solve their external problem instead of them actually exercising self-agency and admitting that they're not where they want to be 100% because of them, and it's their fault. Like, it's your fault, bro, that you're not where you want to be.
No, it's the government's fault.
It's the government's fault. It's somebody else's fault. I didn't get a fair shake. And nobody gives me an opportunity. Whatever. It's like all the excuses. But truthfully, your income, net worth, and cash flow are a direct correlation to the value that you bring, that you create in the world. And if that, I love, it's like money's not that important. Money's not the definition of success, but in a few core areas of life, it's the way that you keep score. It's the way you keep score for how well you're
if your net worth
doing
is going down every year, then you're not like winning that game.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a different game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think money's everything.
No, it's not.
But so what would you say to somebody they got a business going, they're a newer entrepreneur? Do you focus on cash flow, getting as much of that? Like, I've talked to people, I mean, even just last night, I was literally talking to somebody who's making a lot of cash flow, like $50,000 a month. And they're very frugal with their living, though.
Yeah.
They don't have any debt. They drive old vehicles. Yeah. And they just don't know what to do. Yeah. Like, it's almost created more work they're like, what do I do with the surplus? Nice place.
It's a great problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause they've always been, but they didn't start with the cash flow. They own a bunch of houses that are all paid off. Like, they don't have that many. They only have like 22 houses, but they're all paid off. And a couple of them are Airbnbs, and they just get all the profits.
The cash from it. Yeah.
But they don't know what to do because it's a lot of cash that's coming in. I guess what I'm saying is they started out just working. They were flipping 2 houses and keeping one, flipping 2, keeping one. And it took them a long time, like 15 years to get here.
Yeah.
But I guess it's that balance, right? Of like, because if they had tried to be like, no, I don't want to work, I just want the cash flow, they never would have built what they have.
Yeah.
And so I know for myself, I've never been focused on cash flow. I know everybody says I should be and everything, but it's always, to me, I'm always like, I want to build something that, if you have something that has value and has is worth millions of dollars, like the cash flow part, to me, cash flow is just, I'm just planning on working.
Yeah.
Like, my cash flow is because I go out and work every day and like generate.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not cash flow according to your definition. It's just income.
Yeah. This is income.
But I don't know if I have that much like cash flow. I probably should work towards that. But so much of what I'm doing, I just keep rolling it into the big thing. I guess I could like pivot and.
We would have cash flow, but you choose to roll it back into.
Well, yeah, because
growth.
I want I want the thing to keep getting bigger and bigger, and then like I'll just my monthly, I'll just work like everyone does.
Yeah. I think what you're sharing, and then going back to something that you said just a moment ago about like why does everybody want to retire early, and billionaires and the most successful people, they work till they're 90 and die in the office or whatever. I do think, I do think there's a values conversation that it starts with. I understand what would lead someone into the FIRE movement, financially independent, retire early movement, right? Like, work really hard for 10 years and then retire early and be financially independent after that. I get that. I just know guys who have done it and have been successful at doing it. And within a year, they're like miserable and aimless, and they go out and they start building something else. Because at the end of the day, we're wired as human beings, I think, to want to bring value into the world. And so we at Own the Exit, we define financial freedom as having the option.
Yeah, that's good.
Having the option, not financial freedom being like a specifically designed lifestyle, like what Financially Independent Retired Early would cast for people. We don't want to cast the vision for anyone that the desired end game is that you would build your business to the point where it's self-sustaining, or you're able to exit it for a big fat payday or whatever, so that you can do this particular thing afterwards. That's not it. It's like having the options then at that point to be able to decide what's the next phase of how I want to bring value to the world. Do I want to take a couple of years and really focus like primarily on my kids and my family and give a bulk of my time to that? That's amazing. Like go for it, do it. But eventually your kids are going to move out, and eventually you're going to be sitting there with your thumb up your butt, wondering what in the heck you're doing in this world. So you're always going to be wired, I think, to want to go build something and do something if you're an entrepreneur.
And everybody, you've got to do something that adds value, even if it's not like work, creative, maybe art, maybe travel, I don't know, something. You can't just sit around. I really admire those people like the Fire Move and everything. Those guys are crazy.
They're crazy. And I love it.
The thing about them is they don't even try to make more money. They do, but it's all about spending less. Yeah. It seems like such a difficult way to get ahead. It seems so much, because you can, like, it seems so much easier to just make more money. Yeah. Than to spend, I'm not going to do that coffee. And I'm like, you're saving $2. Yeah. But they're so
I think you and I are,
those guys.
I think I'm a little more on that side, because I'm like, I'm very much like
more
reduce expense, frivolous spending, no impulse buying. Like I have this kind of policy I'm trying to teach to my kids of, if you're like we went to Shields the other day and we were walking around and there's like everything. It's like, that's the one store where I just lose all sense of reason. I just want to buy it. I'm just like, hey babe, I've told my mom, like, hey babe, we could just buy everything. Like we could just get everything, all the things that I want. But I kind of I've had to give myself this mindset hack anytime I go into Shields, because every other store, let's go to Target. Can we just get out of here? You know what I mean? There's nothing here that I want. But like, I had to give myself this mindset hack of, okay, if there's anything that I see that I think I really want, then I give myself 7 days.
Oh, dang.
And if it's 7 days from then, I still want it, then I go back and buy it for myself.
If so unless it's like a dumb to Shields every 7 days is what you're saying.
No, not at all. Because most of the time
you see something else that you want, and then you go the next 7 days.
Exactly. Most of the time, like a day or two later, I forgot about it.
You realize
I don't even care. So it's like that.
No, I think that's really cool for the discipline part. I just meant like mathematically, it seems easier to just make more money than 100%. Spend less. But I like the discipline part of it. And
there becomes a point where you can't conserve anymore. Yeah. Like you can, it's just like
you can't go to zero.
It's like when you're talking about, do you prefer cold weather or hot weather? It's in one sense, I prefer cold weather, even though I'd rather just be comfortable, right? I prefer cold weather because I can always add a layer. Yeah. I can always put another jacket on. I can always whatever. I can always find a way to solve that by adding more.
Unless it gets like really...
But like when it's really hot, there's only so much you can take off and still be appropriate. Like it's the same thing with reducing expenses versus making more income. It's like there's only so much that you can reduce. At some point, you're probably still going to have to add more income if you want to create more margin to create more freedom. And that kind of comes back to the original kind of premise of the conversation of like, when is the right time to prioritize net worth creation, i.e. the combination of reducing debt and expenses plus acquiring of new assets, new cash, new hard assets, things that store value. When's the right time to prioritize that in your journey? And then when should you start prioritizing like really optimizing cash flow? I think it's important that regardless of where you are in the journey, especially if you're a business owner, which most of our listeners are, you do need to always think about cash flow as a business owner, like generating and creating cash flow, because it's the number one thing that will kill your business.
Yeah, it's like cash flow is oxygen.
Yeah. You got to have money coming in. You got to have money coming in, and you got to have a little bit more than what you need if you're going to continue to exist, at least a little bit more, hopefully a lot more, and then you create lots of profit margin. But so as a business owner, it's different, but we're talking about holistic, like your financial situation. if you're working, building your business and paying yourself income for the work that you do, I think make sure that income is enough to where you're not personally stressed out financially, where you got enough. It doesn't have to be astronomically more than enough. You don't have to be living some lavish lifestyle. My preference would be to not live some lavish lifestyle, right? Because that's not what I care about. Yeah. But I also want to make sure that I'm pulling enough, like paying myself enough to where my family is not like struggling or not, you know what I mean? Yeah. We're not fighting every month to make sure that we get to the end of it with some money.
Yeah, and if you enjoy the work you're doing and like you're adding value, like you said, I mean, whatever your monthly amount, like anything above that, then you can just keep putting it toward the bigger thing you're doing, which exactly. It adds to your net worth.
Generates your net worth. And then you make sure that you maintain enough cash flow margin that doesn't get reinvested so that you got some nice reserves in there so that like you eventually get to a place where your business is self-sustaining. And that's how you have to do it. So I think optimizing for net worth or as a business owner, business valuation too early has been the death of so many different businesses because they just got to a place where cash just wasn't there. And they've got this thing that's valuable and awesome and the market wants it, but they optimized it the wrong way. They put too much effort into increasing valuation and by nature increasing own personal net worth, and not enough into making sure that the vehicle that was getting them there had gas in the tank and could keep going. And we mentioned Lambo and earlier, like buying the Lambo or whatever when we were talking earlier.
Buying a Lambo.
So you got the Lambo now, but you don't have any gas in it. So it's literally just a very expensive lawn ornament. Like you don't have something that can get you somewhere. You just spend a lot on this thing that's completely useless. And that's what will happen to your business if you don't create margin for cash flow. But if you just sell product and cash everything out and don't reinvest into growth and you just take that money and do, all that kind of stuff, that business is never going to grow and you're not going to have anything meaningful at the end of it. So
I think it's good to have that balance and then also figuring out like your circle of the lifestyle creep where you're like, okay, how much do you need? Maybe you need $100,000 a month. I don't care. It's your money, right?
Yeah.
But maybe you can live on 10,000. But whatever it is, like to just really to lock that in. And there's something good about like spending less. It just feels. It's like almost like going to the gym.
It feels responsible.
It kind of it's like you don't have to. It's like it's hard, but it's like I like it. When you're like deprive yourself of certain things, like whether it's physical or food or things, because it's like it just like shows constraint.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the business can just grow because it's so easy to just consume, and then the business does well, and then it's just wasteful. And like so I think having that, I guess just setting like if you were working a job and your boss paid you, I don't know, $5,000 a month or whatever, like you would figure out how to live on that because that was your only income. And I think as business owners, like it's really good to do that.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm just going to pay. That's what I do. I just pay myself. I literally pay myself every 2 weeks, like clockwork. It's on auto pay.
Yep.
And that's my pay. And I just try to live within that, just like I would have to if I had a job anywhere.
Yeah.
And then just the business just rolls.
Yeah. Continue. So, it's a good conversation.
Yeah. Conversation.
I think the takeaway for listeners is there is no definitive cookie cutter right answer. It comes down to your values, the life that you want to live, what you want to accomplish. But the key is don't optimize for the wrong thing at the wrong stage, and make sure that you're paying attention to that you're not just listening to the cash flow is king influential voices out there, that their real only goal is just to get you to give them your money for 6 or 7%, return or whatever, or the financial advisor that just wants to keep your AUM and promises, hey, we'll get you this fixed income annuity that's going to generate XYZ for you. Like just being aware of your own life and the life that you are designing for yourself, for your family, and then make sure that the decisions that you're making are not being asymmetrically influenced by the wrong ideas about what you should prioritize, because only you ultimately will know what you should be prioritizing at what stage of life. But it's important to think of it from a financial perspective, through the lens of income that I worked to generate, provided some value to generate, cash flow, something that I build or something that I own that pays me, and net worth, everything that I own minus any debt that I have. And knowing which one should I be focusing on the most or giving the most effort to optimizing based on the stage of life that I'm at, and being realistic about it. If you just started your business 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, then chances are, unless you're just like the oddity that just blew up overnight, right? Which is very possible. But you probably still have some time before you really need to be thinking about that business's holistic valuation. You need to be reinvesting cash flow into growing that thing, and really and not be focusing on the wrong thing too early. So those are just these are just kind of thoughts. These are things that we think about a lot, that we talk about a lot, and I think are important conversations, because there's so much content out there about how to grow and scale your business and how to do all this stuff, but really thinking about what are the things that I need to focus on the journey to financial freedom, and then what does financial freedom actually even mean to me? Does it mean more cash flow? For some people, it just means more income, because they never want to stop working. They just want to make a lot of income, and that's fine.
Yeah, but it means no one's going to make you work, and you can work on the things you want to work on. And you can work with the people and on the projects and everything that you want to work on.
Yeah.
There's nothing, I absolutely love working with people that I want to work with on projects I want to work on.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that would be sad if I didn't get to work with people I wanted to work with on projects I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
And then someone just handed me $20,000 a month. But I was like, oh, I don't get to be involved though.
Yeah.
And so like, I think everyone should really focus on the whole passive income and everything is just, it's just weird. It can get weird.
It can get weird.
I think active income is just work. Like, I don't think we should be trying to get around that.
Yeah.
But I think as you keep doing it, you just get smarter and smarter. You refine the work, right? So it's more what you want to do with who you want to do it. And get the net worth going and have the passive feeding it to help you to do the work you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's my thought. I think I'm not trying to just be passive. Even the word passive is like a negative word. Passive?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to be aggressive income.
I want to be aggressive about creating income, creating wealth, creating freedom for my family. I want to be aggressive, not passive. I like passive income. I like the idea of passive cash flowing income.
It's really good if you get hurt or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like your story, right? Or you have
a
time where your life, you're not able to engage. So it's really good to have those safety nets that you build, that you have. But anyways, it's a good conversation.
Good conversation.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you today on On the Exit. Hit subscribe if you enjoy On the Exit. If you're not on YouTube, tracking On the Exit on YouTube, you should go there right now. Subscribe, share it with a friend. We appreciate you.
Nice hat, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't planned.
Sweet hat. It wasn't planned, but...
Yeah, Multiplier U.
Yep, that's it. Multiplier U. MultiplierU.com. All right, see you
Thanks, guys.
Peace.